Welcome to Soho, the fashion centre of London. It's here in Soho where you can see crowds of freaky people, fashion aficionados, and trendy Londoners. But what helps you stand out from the crowd? The answer is individual style. It might be found in well-chosen accessories, in expensive brand-name shoes, in an original jacket cut, or with the help of people whose work it is to bring out your individuality. Meet Mark Powell, a man who is synonymous with Soho, a bespoke tailor who makes individually crafted suits and evening wear.
My name is Mark Powell and I'm a bespoke tailor.
Mark Powell is one of London's most iconic bespoke tailors. For more than 30 years, he's been making individually styled suits for his clients, which include numerous celebrities and fashion icons. Tailoring is the perfect way to create and flaunt individuality. Mark Powell.
Yeah, never studied or anything designing, no. Just from here, yeah. I started going to tailors when I was very, very young, 12, 13 years old, and experimenting and doing different ideas for myself. Then when I left school, I studied for a few years and worked in and around Mayfair, near Savile Row, at various places. And then, you know, I was only 24 when I got my first shop, so I was quite young. And really, it was quite unusual at that time to be using tailoring as a way of expressing fashion and style. Whereas now, a lot of people are doing that. You know, when I was doing tailoring in the 80s, so it was quite unusual. Because I was the only one doing it then, I used to get loads of publicity. Very, very quickly, we started to do quite well-known celebrities at the time, you know, people like David Bowie.
David Bowie is an English rock star who often shocked the public with his ever-changing appearance and wild costumes. One of Bowie's most memorable images was the classic black suit made by Mark Powell for the movie Absolute Beginners. In this way, Powell added some glam and dandyism to Bowie's earlier style.
Often, a lot of the clients that came to me that were celebrities, they would normally be introduced by a stylist. You know, maybe a stylist at the time, they'd tried maybe various different designer looks for them, and of course in the end, probably a better way to make them look more individual is to have something tailored that's specifically made for them. And, you know, I mean, George Michael was another one that I did, you know, in the early 90s. Naomi Campbell, Paul Weller. Paul Weller is, you know, was in the group The Jam, which was a big group in the 70s. He wears all my clothes. And then the cyclist who won the Tour de France last year, Bradley Wiggins, who's just about to be Sir Bradley, knighted by the Queen. I've been making his clothes for a few years as well. I can also do period costume as well as doing, you know, like I did George Clooney as Thomas Jefferson. You have to always look at somebody's figure and really to make someone look good, you have to get the proportions right. Sometimes if you do a guy and they've got too many muscles, that's more difficult because, you know, they can have big arms and big shoulders, and that can be very hard to make sometimes people like that look elegant. The best people to dress are when they're very tall and slim. I mean, in a minute I'll show you some of the images of on the wall here, the Wall of Fame, if you like. That good-looking guy there's me when I was young. That one. I mean, there's loads of things in magazines that I did. Harrison Ford there when I did him as Abraham Lincoln. This is quite a famous film that I did, gangster film, called Gangster #1, quite a famous British gangster film I did clothes for. There's Harry Potter down there for a premiere. Very nice guy, very nice guy. I mean, I made for 3 premieres for him for London, Paris and New York. That I've been very proud of, and there's been a few movies I've made clothes for stars, for films. I mean, that's a great thing, because if you do clothes for a movie, they're always there. You know, if you do something in a magazine or whatever, it's of a moment, but then it was only of a moment. But I mean, obviously, when you do something for a movie, it's great because it's forever.
Dressing up is all about looking good and feeling good. Style is the all-important thing. Mark Powell. Over the years, Mark Powell has dressed countless film, music and sports celebrities. But what makes them choose Powell's tailored suits? Is the answer found in the cutting-edge styles and the expensive fabrics used? Or is it found in the details, such as watch chains and ties? What is so special about Mark Powell's work?
It's all about the style. It's about the way you style things. It's not just obviously about what you make. It's all the finer detailing, the accessories that they wear, the shirt, the tie, the shoes. Yeah, everything together, yeah. Well, I think it's what I do. I take a lot of influences from nostalgia, from the past. I think it's very important that you still make it look contemporary and modern. And because I've got such a good knowledge of different periods of style, there's a lot of people that try to do that and they can't manage to do it.
With his keen sense of style and elegance, what does Mark Powell personally choose to wear?
Well, I'm very casual today. This for me is very, very casual. I normally wear, as you've probably noticed before, 3-piece suit, watch, chain. I mean, I can show you actually. Yeah, sure. I mean, something like this is very, very sort of classic. This is actually very 1920s influence with a double-breasted waistcoat, very wide trousers, sort of quite 1930s. You have the, you know, with the chain, the watch chain. So it's almost, it's got that real sort of Hollywood 1930s look to it. It's very similar to what I'm wearing, but it's the white buttons that make it look interesting. And then if you look at the back, as a panel back, the panels here with 2 little vents, which makes it look, yeah. And then this is very sort of James Bond, 1960s looking with the slimmer lapel, like this. The flaps are smaller, 1 button. Very classic.
And who wouldn't want to look like James Bond? What kind of person wears suits like these?
Someone has to be individual, quite flamboyant, and it could be quite a cool guy. You could imagine sort of like one of the hip-hop guys wearing something like that. It look quite cool. Style, I think, is eternal. Style always, fashion is only a moment, style is eternal. So if you do anything with style, it never really dates.
You've got to remember, without being big-headed, that I'm a legend in the world of style and fashion. Mark Powell.
It was, and it's just nice. Weather was absolutely perfect. Everyone was sort of sitting around picnicking. We really loved the atmosphere. No, it was, I'm not really a fan, but I've got to say it was a very, very lovely evening. I really enjoyed it. It was very nice.
Today, Mark Powell is considered to be one of London's most influential bespoke tailors. He no longer needs to perform all the work by himself, but he stays close with his clients and keeps in contact with them. Currently, Mr. Powell has a professional tailoring team at his workshop, official retail stores, and even his own signature crest.
This is the Mark Powell crest with the signature and the crest. But this is a very old London tradition because these are mother of pearl buttons. And in England, there used to be a thing called pearly kings and pearly queens, and they wear stitched buttons onto the garment. But this is actually just a bit of fun, you know, but this is done like a dinner suit.
Mark Powell has made a name for himself in London and around the world. But what's his favourite part about being a bespoke tailor?
Well, I think it's when somebody puts on the finished outfit that we've made and they don't want to take it off. They often put it on and then you're meant to just try it and then leave. But most of them, they can stand here sometimes for 10, 15 minutes just looking, studying, talking. It's because they're getting the feeling of the outfit. It makes them feel good. So that's, for me, that's the reward, if you like, for what I do for them.
It's hard to tell you any compliments because you always look fashionable.
Thank you. It's nice to be told again and again, though.
We've been following Mark Powell, a bespoke tailor from London, who started out sewing suits and found himself in tailoring people's individuality. Mr. Powell is a living example that to do great work, you must find a true labour of love.